Okay, we're gonna go and start the special board meeting. This late Tuesday night, January 12th, 2020. The special board meeting by video conference, the telephone conference, and I call this meeting to order at exactly 10:19 p.m. Roll call. Ms. Silva, Ms. Weaver,
Present.
Ms. Silva,
Present.
Mr. Corona,
Present.
Ms. Yanes,
Present.
Ms. Lopez,
Present.
Mr. Moreno. Mr. Moreno. Dr. Carmen.
Present.
Dr. Carmen.
Present.
Okay. Mr. Flores. Thank you all.
We all want to get home.
Exactly. So let's move on to, since we already discussed public comment, let's move on to action agenda. 2.1 discussion and possible action to approve the resolution to allow San Benito CID employees to assist Cameron County Public Health with vaccines. Dr. Carmen.
Sir, thank you, Mr. Lopez. I'll try to be quick. We had been contacted by the county, Cameron County, and asked if our nurses or other medical personnel could assist with administering the vaccines at a clinic this upcoming Friday. And so that's why we called for this special board meeting. It requires a resolution from the board if we're going to have employees who are on the clock, but performing in a different function than what they're hired for with the school district. It's certainly a greater need. It's allowable, but it does require a resolution. I will mention two other things. There's also a caveat down here that since they're putting themselves in harm's way, that we can pay them a small stipend for taking that risk and still helping out the community, helping out the county. But the urgency is not there quite as much because we were contacted by Cameron County Health Department today. And because they're not holding one of the clinics in San Benito, the one they're holding in Brownsville CISD has volunteered more than enough nurses to cover their need. So our employees are actually not going this Friday. This resolution will allow for future clinics if Cameron County were to call on us again, which I'm fairly certain that they would, that our employees, we have nurses, we also have some of our health science teachers who are trained either as nurses or EMTs, and they can administer those shots. So we would like to be able to allow them to do so and help out our community. That's it in a nutshell.
Hey, Dr. Carmen, I got a couple of things for you. But I think it's acting in good faith if we allow our staff to assist in this time of need and time of crisis. But a couple of things, Doc. As far as transportation, are we gonna transport our staff over there as safely as we can, right? Number one, and number two, Doc. As far as this agreement is concerned, is there any liability? Just in case something happens, unfortunately, to our staff, while they're out there, helping out. What's the liability situation there? We're going to be held responsible for whatever comes up.
So that's two very good questions. And the first one, transportation, we would not provide transportation because we do not want to put our employees close together in a vehicle. Rather, if it's out of town, we would reimburse for mileage. If the clinic is here locally, we would not. If we're asking them to go to Fresno or Harlingen or Brownsville, I hate to ask people to go to Harlingen, but if we do, we would reimburse mileage. And as far as liability, we have a separate indemnification agreement that we have sent to Cameron County for their consideration. We had one in place already with their emergency management. So if there's a hurricane or something and they use our facilities or our buses, it indemnified them, but it didn't cover us in this type of a circumstance. So we have, with help from Mr. Torres, we have that drafted and it has been sent to Cameron County. My assumption is they will agree to it and sign off on it so that when the time comes, we will not be held liable, nor would our employees be held liable if something were to go wrong with one of the shots.
Great. And
how many employees are we talking about, sir?
So for this time, we had 6 who were ready to go. But again, we got the call today that they did not need our employees for this Friday.
Okay. Just in case y'all want to know this, just in case, tomorrow Rio Hondo is going to be administering the vaccine at the Rio Hondo Fire Department. So if anybody needs one, you need to be there by 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right,
Thank
Doc,
you.
and another thing, Doc, as far as the liability is concerned, I don't, just on a real quick note, if something happens, Doc, and an employee gets hurt, how is that part of the liability disclaimer? Or are we gonna be responsible for any type of injury, just in case, unfortunately, let's say nothing happens, but unfortunately, they're still under our umbrella. So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to just making sure that we dot our i's and cross our t's, just so our staff can feel safe and secure in this whole situation. But I mean, I'm in total agreement, that we act in good faith and our staff with a little stipend of some kind to go help out. I mean, there's a lot of need out there, and a lot of help. And I know our staff will step up to the plate and want to do so. But my only concern, of course, is the liability area. If they get hurt or, something happens, unfortunately, where they're going to get, blamed for something.
So the indemnification would stop them from being liable if someone coming to the clinic got a shot, had a reaction, they missed and they hit an event, something, they'd be covered for that. We'd be covered for that. I guess you brought up something I'm not 100% sure on, and I'm going to ask Mr. Flores. If one of our employees is assisting in this clinic and they fall and break an ankle, would they still be covered under workers' comp because they're still on the clock for us? I'm not sure about that.
I don't foresee, and we can take a closer look at that, but I don't foresee any additional exposure to the district because of this. Let's say they'd be out there, I think they would be covered as if they were during the course and scope of their employment for the district. So I think the same would apply. So I don't see any additional exposure to the district because of this, but that's something we can, of course, take a closer look at.
So, Mr. Flores, if they're out of their normal work area, right, and they're volunteering somewhere else, we're allowing them to go, but they're still under our umbrella because they're still getting paid, right? So if they go and they get hurt, yes, sir. So they go and they get hurt somewhere. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's like when anyone else is traveling, they're still within the course and scope of their school activities and being paid by the district.
Okay, I get it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Again, but we can definitely take a closer look at that. But again, I don't really see here any additional exposure.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And sometimes I've heard sometimes where people are asked to sign a form, certain words need to be in that form so that we won't be liable. We can come up with something, or I don't know.
It is voluntary.
Disclaimer.
And it's a volunteer thing.
Mhm.
Disclaimer?
Disclaimer for any injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Moreno. Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Weaver. All in favor with a show of hands? Motion carries. Thank you. We adjourn. Next, we go to close. We adjourn this meeting at exactly 10:26 p.m. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.